The LAMP stack, composed of Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP, is a server setup that provides all the necessary tools to host, update, and query a digital collection. This presentation discusses the process of building, configuring, and using the LAMP stack over the course of Introduction to Applied Technology. The server has connectivity to the Internet as established by the results of a ping test. The router has been configured to provide the server with a fixed IP address. In order to create a useful name for the server, name resolution has been provided to hosts, and the assigned name, Ubuntu Final Server, appears at the command prompt. The aptitude updates process provided the server with available updates. In addition, webmin has been installed for easy configuration of users and database content through a GUI interface. Both webmin and the command prompt were used to add users to the server. These users have varied privileges, and through these additional users, I can avoid performing all work on the server as the root user, as this can increase the risk of making unrecoverable errors. Group permissions have also been set for the web dev group. The server is permitted to occupy up to 1 GB of memory on the host computer, runs off a single processor, and has 20 GB of hard disk space on the host computer's hard drive. It has been configured to use a bridged network adapter. The router through which the server accesses the web is an ASIS model. The server can be accessed with its IP address, and it has a DCHP range of IP addresses from 0.1.2 through 0.1.254. This provided many options for assigning a fixed IP address to the virtual machine server, but for the sake of an easy-to-remember number, the server was configured to the fixed IP address of 0.1.3. In the initial setup phase, I added MySQL to the server installation as its relational database management system. The MySQL feature on the server has been populated with a number of databases, including the images database necessary for class assignments, as well as the fruit database, which was created in tandem with the instructional videos used to learn MySQL commands and structure. Within these databases, tables have been created, dropped, and updated. The command line, webmin, and phpMyAdmin were all used to make alterations to tables. While as a visual learner, I did like working with the GUI features of webmin and phpMyAdmin, the command line was certainly a faster, more direct way to interact with tables. With the databases populated, I constructed a variety of queries, which the server has successfully processed, including those incorporating a variety of joins. Tests of the server's ability to host websites have been successful as well. First, the server provided access to a simple website constructed through HTML with CSS additions. From HTML, I moved to XML and was able to write a short XML document and view it in my browser. With the markup languages covered, the server was then tasked with hosting a number of websites built with PHP and HTML. This allowed for interactive web content. Rather than interacting with the command line, the user is able to query the MySQL databases housed on the server and receive results within the website. It was also able to pull information from the outside ISBN DB source through an API and return responses to queries of that data pool. While the PHP coding assignments were not fully constructed from scratch, I was able to make small modifications to the code to restrict the information visible in the results of the ISBN DB queries. While the bulk of my work with the LAMP system this semester went smoothly, I did encounter occasional problems. My two most significant issues related to the use of text editors. I completed the VI tutorial without difficulty. However, I was unable to exit the tutorial. I made attempts to quit based on the assignment instructions, tried pausing and restarting the VM, and finally solved the problem by returning to the snapshot I had taken before beginning the tutorial. Thankfully, I had made the snapshot immediately before beginning and did not lose any work. I also ran into difficulty with Nano. After getting through the configuration lesson without issue, I found that when I tried to link my new server to Webmin while making websites, Nano appeared as a blank screen. There was no visible text, and I could see nothing when I typed or tried to execute commands. I first went to the Ubuntu forums to see whether I could find a solution, but I was not able to find any posts dealing with the same issue I was facing. Restarting the server resolved the problem on the second try. Like several other students, I had a problem with the bin bash section of the Week 4 assignment. I used the class discussion boards to resolve that issue. Simply exploring the environment in more detail allowed me to solve another problem. I was unable to find the www/var/html folder in WinSCP at first, but I discovered that upon entering WinSCP, I needed to travel upward through the directories before going back down into the right folder. I regularly tried to add more advanced elements to the assignments where I felt comfortable with the main lesson. I incorporated CSS into my HTML website file to add color and borders and change formatting. In my images database, I added an additional table and content that allowed me to make a more diverse set of queries than the sample database would allow me to perform. I used it for a right join with some data fields that did not have a relation established to another table. I also made a more complex query than the samples provided that would pull information from 3 tables rather than just 2. I felt less comfortable with altering the PHP code in the programming units, but I did attempt, with partial success, to restructure the HTML code in order to return the results in a table format. I also removed the query line from the ISBN DB results to hide the API key from other users. I changed the responses echoed by the server for most of the web pages as well, for practice and to add clarifying punctuation. I learned a few valuable lessons during the semester. The simplest was the importance of readable font. In the first few weeks of the course, I had an issue with misreading the letter L for the number 1. Of course, I could not get my command prompt to list anything with that mistyping. Luckily, a more experienced programmer was quickly able to diagnose the issue. I also learned that there is a resource available online for any computer process you need to complete, and finding them is usually a simple process. I found a great YouTube video tutorial that showed me how to try new ideas in HTML and add CSS. As we discussed in class, it was important for me to choose resources that worked for my learning style. The lessons and difficulties in this course were excellent learning experiences, but I felt all the course material on each aspect of the LAMP, whether it came together on the first or 5th try, was valuable and will make me more adept at working with computers as an LIS professional. I look forward to delving deeper into the LAMP stack and its ability to host digital collections.